One unfamiliar concept in having experienced the extraordinary is the idea of the garment of skin. And on page 113 to 120, Theo is talking about this garment of skin that puts a physical barrier between our hearts so that we can only relate to each other through words and actions, through something physical. There's no longer direct spirit-to-spirit communion. So where's this concept come from in the Bible? Well, it follows from the idea of the great reversal that was in the previous video. In the great reversal, the physical is transparent to the sight of heaven. We're open and laid bare to God, and we're open and laid bare to each other in the same way. So why can't we do that on earth? Communication here can be so fraught and frustrating. Wouldn't it be nice if we could communicate heart to heart on earth? Well, let's look at how this develops. We're going to go back to the Garden of Eden. In Genesis 2:25, it says, "And the man and his wife were both naked and were not ashamed." And this idea of shame has a whole other realm of meaning in Middle Eastern cultures than it does for Westerners. Shame to the Middle Eastern mind had to do with not living up to the expectations of the community, not meeting the norms that allow us to live together, not being an honorable member. So in our culture, shame is a feeling. It's an internal psychological emotion that we feel if we did something bad. And in our guilt innocence culture, we feel like we have to be punished or there has to be some kind of justice to remove the sense of shame. Middle Easterners think in terms of honor and shame. I broke the covenant with the community and now I'm shunned. I'm removed from the community. So when it says they were naked and unashamed, naked here isn't just physical nakedness, it's openness. They were open to each other and not ashamed. An interesting example of this is in homes in Jesus's day, the custom was that you opened your door in the morning to the street and you left it open all day long just to show that you were open and to prove that there was nothing shameful or hidden going on in the courtyard of your house. In the same way, Adam and Eve had opened the doors of their hearts to God. They were completely open and they felt no shame because they didn't do anything wrong. There was nothing to be ashamed of. So that to me sounds a lot like heaven, to walk and talk with God in the cool of the day and to have nothing in your heart that you're ashamed of. So then we went from that initial state to mankind did something dishonorable. We failed to live up to the covenant. We broke relationship through not obeying the community norms. And the result was shame. And shame always creates hiding, and that's what man did. God came to talk to them, and they were hiding, and God is like, where are you? Well, we figured out that we were naked and we were ashamed, so we hid. And it's interesting, this is what a Middle Eastern family would do. Your family gathers around to protect you, and anything shameful is hidden by the family. We circle the wagons and we prevent it from coming out in public to maintain our place in the community. So this action would have made total sense to Middle Easterners. So when mankind is shamed, what does God do about it? Well, their first action was to hide. So what God did was he clothed them in garments of skin to remove the nakedness so that they could relate again, so they could still be part of the community. So this garment of skin is a redemptive God taking the first action to bring man back into communion with him. But the problem is when they ate of the tree, something died in them. God has covered their shame so they can come out of hiding, but they've lost this ability to communicate spirit to spirit. That's part of the death of it. So to apply this to us, the garment of skin, the physical outside part of us, hides our inner world. Our heart is stuck inside the physical and we can't see through it. God sees the heart, God sees through the outside, but man doesn't. And by putting this barrier of skin between each other, this physical barrier, it cuts off that spirit to spirit communication, but it also hides our shame. The secret thoughts we have that we're ashamed of are hidden so that we can still relate to each other in the community. So it helps us relate and be a part. It protects us from the hidden evil in others, and it protects others from the hidden evil in us. So here's my conclusion. Man was originally created for direct spirit to spirit communion, to be naked before God, completely open and unashamed. When covenant was broken and evil entered, God covered our shame with the garment of skin so we could still relate. He did it by hiding our hearts behind this barrier of the physical. So that's what's meant by the garment of skin.